Okay, so now we're going to use the cosine law to find an angle in a triangle. Once again, I'm going to label what I want to find as C. In this case, I want to find this angle, so I'm going to label that angle C. This would make this side up here little c. A and B, it wouldn't matter where they were, so I could label them like this. So if this is capital A, then this would be lowercase a. If this was capital B, then this would be lowercase b. This is my formula for the cosine law. It's actually the same formula that we did in the last section, but it's just rearranged to find out what the angle is instead of the side length. One important thing to notice that just to make sure that you're on the right track is that this letter here is the same as that letter there. So if you're looking for this angle here, then this is the square that you end up subtracting. Notice that these two are added, but that one's subtracted. So if I'm finding this angle, the 11 squared gets subtracted. Okay? Now I'm going to fill in the appropriate things in the right spot now. So little a squared, well, little a is 9.2 squared, plus little b squared, which is 16 squared, minus c squared, well, c is this 11, so minus 11 squared, over 2 times a times b. So 2 times a, which is 9.2, times b, which is 16. So 2 times 9.2 times 16, okay? Now I'm going to evaluate the numerator and the denominator separately. So 9.2 squared is 9.2 times 9.2, which is 84.64. 16 squared is 16 times 16, which is 256. 11 squared is 11 times 11, which is 121. Then I multiply these numbers together on the bottom. So 2 times 9.2 times 16, which is 294.4. Okay, so now I'm going to make this numerator look a bit nicer. So I'm going to put these numbers together. So I'm going to punch in 84.64 plus 256 minus 121. That should give me 219.64. Okay. So now I'm going to divide these numbers. So I take 219.64, divide by 294.4, which gives me approximately 0.746. Now this is equal to the cosine of c, right? Notice up here, cos c is here, not just c. So just like when we were doing our sine law, when we're doing the cosine law, we're going to have to use the inverse cosine to find an angle. So what I'm going to have to do is take my calculator. My cosine button, you can see, is right here. Just above it, you can see I've got the inverse cosine right there. So I'm going to have to press second function, then cosine, and that brings me this cos little negative 1. And I type in the number that I have, which is 0.746. So I'm going to type in 0.746. Which gives me 41, approximately 42 degrees. So C is about 42 degrees. Okay, so that's a first example. Let's even look at another example. Okay, so how about if I had okay, and it doesn't really matter what angle we want to find here. Let's say that we want to find this one here. Okay, so in that case, if I want to find this angle, that's the one I'm going to label C. The others will be A and B. So if this is capital C, then that makes this side here lowercase c, capital A, lowercase a, capital B, lowercase b. My cosine law looks like this. So a squared plus b squared minus c squared over 2ab. So I punch the numbers in. Lowercase a is 16, so this is going to be 16 squared. Plus b squared, well, b is 12, so plus 12 squared, minus c squared, c is 20, so minus 20 squared, all over 2 times a times b, so that's 2 times 16 times 12. Okay, So 16 squared, of course, is 16 times 16, which is 256. 12 squared is 12 times 12, which is 144. 20 squared is 20 times 20, which is 400. Okay, over 2 times 16 times 12, so 2 times 16 times 12 is 384. All right, put these numbers together now. So I do 256 plus 144 minus 400. That gives me 0, actually. Okay, gives me 0 over 384. This doesn't happen very often. So what happens here is I divide 0 by 384. Of course, that's going to give me 0, right? Don't get scared by the number. That's fine. So to find out what angle C is, I'm going to have to again use my inverse cosine, right? So I will use, clear off what I have there first of all. So I hit my shift button, then I hit cosine, so that brings that up. And then of course I just type in my 0. Okay, I press equals, and it comes out to give me 90. So I can actually see that angle C is a 90-degree angle. So this actually is a right triangle. That's interesting, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so that's how you find angles.